That wraps up Action News at 5 o'clock for today.
News continues now. Linda Alvarez joins us for Action News at 6. Linda.
Thank you, Tricia and Mike. Well, thousands of people got stuck today. Sudden downpours created traffic nightmares and triggered some terrible accidents, too. A live report coming up. Plus, a look at how much more rain is in the forecast. Also, a woman and her husband were fooled by police imposters. The men, dressed as officers, robbed and ransacked their home. Find out how to make sure this doesn't happen to you. And a young Southland pilot killed by friendly fire is laid to rest. An emotional farewell ahead. Those stories and much more next on Action News.
We knew there were going to be triplets.
Teresa knew ahead of time there may be complications.
Within minutes, the helicopter is airborne.
The babies was in that chopper going down south.
To have him taken away, it was, I can't describe what it felt like.
I know it hurts, and I know it's hard to just say goodbye.
When they got them all together, it was wonderful.
What are you going to do with so many babies?
Highway Patrol, tonight at 7 on Channel 2.
This is KCBS LA. Michael Tuck, Bree Walker, Steve Rambo, and Jim Hill bring you Action News at 6.
High winds and showers roll through the Southland. Good evening once again, everybody. I'm Michael Tuck.
Hello, everyone. I'm Linda Alvarez in for Bree Walker. Just in the past hour, we have reports that winds were so violent that several trees were uprooted near the campus of Cal Poly Pomona. This afternoon, it was a sea of umbrellas in downtown LA, and don't put them away yet. We're in for a second dose of rain. Even some thunder showers may be heading our way.
A slow but steady downpour quickly created flood conditions in a lot of Southland intersections. Here in East Los Angeles, driving was a dangerous slow-go affair.
And thankfully, this spring storm doesn't pose much of a threat to Malibu residents. It's unlikely they'll see a repeat of the mudslides that buried the seaside community this past winter. Right now, our Chopper 2 is up in the air over some wind damage, some significant wind damage in Cal Poly Pomona. Bob Tur, are you there?
Yes, we're up here. We're above Cal Poly Pomona, where there's been a report of a twister touching down here. We just arrived on scene. All we see so far are trees down. We don't see any rescue ambulances. Nobody appears to be injured at this time. We'll continue to look for any signs of damage or structural damage. At this time, it looks like just trees down, but a twister reported about a half hour ago touching down here at Cal Poly Pomona.
All right, thank you very much for that, Bob.
And for the very latest on the storm and the havoc it's causing, we're going live right now to Marianne Cushy. She joins us from Whittier. Marianne?
Mike, the weather right now is really a major contrast to what we had all day long. That rain came out of nowhere. Rain-slick roads and driving too fast, a deadly combination today in one of dozens of accidents that happened on our local freeways. She was a woman in her 40s, the driver of this small gray car who was killed instantly in the worst rain-related accident of the day. It happened on the 605 at Rose Hills Road. It is still unclear what caused it. Even Doug Wynn, the driver of this bent and battered piece of wreckage, can't figure it out.
I was at a stop and I heard something. I looked in the rearview mirror and saw the truck behind me had evidently been hit and was kind of coming at an angle.
He said glass exploded all around him. 9 cars and trucks slammed into each other. It's no doubt weather had a lot to do with it.
I'm sure everybody was going too fast for the wet roadway conditions. We've got 1 fatality and we've got 2 people in critical condition in local hospitals.
The rain caused problems from the time it started. It slowed up traffic on the Harbor Freeway in the early afternoon, and non-injury accidents sounded like they were non-stop.
Engine in Squad 8, traffic collision.
9852, 1182, 2 vehicles in the center divider.
Many of the accidents were like this one, leaving drivers frustrated and stranded by the side of the road.
I stopped my car, because the traffic is too close. So this guy hit me and I made me hit the other car. That's all.
The CHP said there were more than 10 accidents an hour in the LA and Valley areas during the rain, 13 signalers, most involving big rigs. The 605 here at Rose Hills Road has been open now for about an hour. Traffic is back up to speed, but if it rains again, the warning, slow down. Back to you.
Back up to speed apparently is pretty slow there, though, right, Marianne?
Well, actually, at this time of day, this is the way back up to speed really is, Mike.
All right, Marianne, thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Marianne. Well, Steve Rambo will join us a bit later to tell us how much more rain we can expect and when we can see that sun again.
Tonight, police are searching for a group of police imposters. Investigators tell us a gang of armed men conned their way into a Lincoln Heights home. They handcuffed the residents and then robbed the house. Today, they relived that horror with our Jose Sanders.
There's police over it. They move. In here?
For Enrique Lopez, it was the worst kind of nightmare. But unfortunately, this time, he was wide awake.
But they take out my wallet and money, I said.
Last night, about 9:30, a group of men barged into his Lincoln Heights home, pretending to be police officers.
The police? Okay. Huh? But it's the badge and the gun, you know?
In fact, the men were robbers who broke down doors and then ransacked the family's home, looking for anything of value. The men pointed revolvers at Mr. Lopez's head and then handcuffed him, his wife, and his son.
So we were for about an hour or so. Then my father tell you, what is this? They're not police. And we're standing over there, and they are on the bed, and we are on the floor.
The Spanish-speaking bandits got away with about $1,600 worth of loot, but luckily, the family wasn't seriously injured. Detectives say there were 2 other similar break-ins recently by people pretending to be police, one in January, then another in March. All of the victims were elderly or immigrants. None of those crimes have been solved. But detectives say if you are suspicious about someone at your door, there are things you could do.
If you have any doubt whether this person is a valid utility person or police officer, merely call. Police department will definitely verify it. Also, police officers have an ID card. They have their picture on their ID card. Police is written very conspicuously on that card.
Meanwhile, the men who wrecked the Lopez family's home are still at large. From Lincoln Heights, I'm Jose Sanders, Channel 2 Action News.
And the family told Jose the imposters wore coats and ties like plainclothes officers, and they spoke with Cuban accents.
Well, Mike, LA gangs are gambling on Las Vegas as a new mecca for their crimes. Right now, police there have 5 gang members behind bars in connection with 2 casino heists. The latest happened yesterday morning at Harrah's Casino. Police chased 5 armed men until they crashed their van. All 5 are charged with armed robbery, kidnapping, and attempted murder. They're also suspected of robbery Friday night at the Flamingo Hilton.
All of a sudden, security came running by saying, "Man with a gun, everybody get down." And immediately everybody hit the deck, and you could hear a pin drop. It got so quiet in there.
Las Vegas police say it's the 7th time in the last year that armed robbers have hit a casino.
Here at home, former police officer Lawrence Powell, convicted of violating the civil rights of Rodney King, today took the witness stand in King's civil case against the city. Powell is serving a prison sentence in federal prison for the 1991 beating. The jury also heard a computer message which quoted Powell as saying he hadn't beaten anyone that bad in a long time. Powell defended the comments, saying they were just the words of a police officer trying to blow off some steam. A jury will have to decide if Powell and 14 other defendants will pay punitive damages to King. Well, in less than 48 hours now, America will bury former President Richard Milhous Nixon.
And preparations are underway for funeral services in Yorba Linda. As the Southland says a final farewell to the 37th President of the United States, our Bill Smith is in Yorba Linda and joins us live. Bill?
Linda, over the weekend, thousands of people were drawn here by all aspects of the Nixon legacy. Yesterday seemed in many ways a fantasy like the 4th of July, but today, reality began setting in. It is finally becoming a major media event here. The television antennas all rising now, everybody ready to beam their signals out. This in front of the half-mast flags at the Nixon Memorial Fountain. The parking lot filled with television trucks, the museum and library itself getting ready, although still a number of flower people come by. This stream seems to never stop here at the Nixon Library. People bringing flowers and bringing their children, as if the children need to somehow be close to this moment of history.
The shock of having this man who's been the predominant figure of the 20th century in politics is having him not with us anymore is really perhaps past, and now we're able to concentrate on his legacy, and I think certainly the library here is very proud to carry that legacy forward.
That legacy began in this house where Richard Nixon was born 81 years ago. Nixon now comes full circle to be buried here on Wednesday. The impact of this enormous occasion is felt all across Orange County, in hotels overflowing. Officials say this is the largest gathering of world dignitaries ever in Orange County. Dignitaries among others coming, cab drivers among others awaiting.
There's an awful lot of people coming into town just for that, you know, dignitaries and whatnot, so.
Get some good tips out of that, I suppose.
I hope so, yeah. People that liked Nixon are good tippers, I hope.
And as you can see, the sun behind the Nixon fountain here, the flags at half-staff, the hundreds of people who continue to arrive here at the Nixon Library continue to show up. Tomorrow will be the public day, Wednesday the ceremonial day, and then security will get very tight. Linda, Michael.
Hopefully the storm will have moved on by then.
Hope so.
All right, thank you very much, Bill, for that. And if you want to pay your respects to Mr. Nixon, here's the plan. Tomorrow, the president's body will be carried by motorcade to the Nixon Library in Yorba Linda. The casket will lie in state for public viewing from 3 p.m. Tuesday until 11 a.m. Wednesday. The funeral services are by invitation only and will be held Wednesday at 4 o'clock. And of course, Channel 2 will be there with complete live coverage.
Reverend Billy Graham officiating at the funeral services. A jogger on a rugged trail has become the victim of a terrible attack, and coming up, a massive search for a mountain lion that apparently killed a woman in Northern California.
And a young pilot whose plane was shot down over Iraq is laid to rest as family and friends search for answers to a tragic mistake.
And then a bit later on, why some moms are treated to a full day of pampering.
You're watching Action News at 6.
During the Dodge National Minivan sale, there are even more reasons to love Caravan. In fact, depending on which Caravan and which options you pick, you could save up to $2,600 on the minivan that already exceeds 1998 car safety requirements. The Dodge National Minivan sale, the place to go for people who don't know when to stop. See your nearest Dodge dealer today.
Why is Centrex the only business phone system that can expand or shrink to any size? Maybe it was designed in California, where boom or bust could be our new state motto. That's why Pacific Bell Centrex lets you add or subtract lines without ever investing in switching equipment. Instead, one phone call lets you get the exact number of lines you need. It takes a certain kind of company to design a phone system that works here. One that works here.
This is a test. No talking, please. You're hungry. You choose beef, chicken, shrimp. All of the above. Do not answer until you've heard the ding. Caro's presents Trios. Start with tender sliced sirloin. Then add any two of the following: teriyaki chicken, honey mustard chicken, fried shrimp, mini shrimp. Create any combination you like for only $7.99 at Caro's. Now, question 2.
Investing is always serious business.
Sir John Templeton on investing and the Templeton Fund.
The basic element of investing is to diversify.
International mutual funds that strive to make your money grow.
Every investor should have a variety of investments.
A recognized leader in mutual funds for almost 50 years.
Not just one corporation or one industry or even one nation.
To learn more, call 1-800-342-FUND.
In general, you want to buy those things that have the best outlook.
The search is on tonight for a mountain lion that apparently killed a Northern California woman who was out for her morning jog. 40-year-old Barbara Schoner went out for a run in the Auburn Lake Trails area Saturday morning and never returned. Sheriff's deputies found her body yesterday covered with claw marks. Locals say mountain lions are very active in that area.
And he crossed the quarry and went up in the hill. That's the backside of the trails. And he got a fawn over in there. So there's a couple of them up here.
Now, warnings have been issued to avoid the area in the El Dorado County area until the mountain lion is caught.
An Army helicopter pilot who was killed in a tragic mistake was buried today. Eric Mounsey, who grew up in Westchester, was one of 15 Americans killed 11 days ago when 2 choppers were accidentally shot down over Iraq by our own jets. Linda Moore reports on the solemn ceremony.
Family and friends remembering Eric Mounsey today spoke of his laughter and his kindness. His big smile, they say, came right from the heart.
I just want to say
did before he left. And I'm glad that I made him laugh.
Eric loved to fly and loved to give, and he was doing both when killed April 14th, flying food and supplies to those in need in northern Iraq.
I tried to talk him out of it, but he said that was his life's mission, was to fly.
The 28-year-old Army officer was one of 15 Americans killed on that mission. Their choppers accidentally shot down by U.S. warplanes. According to investigators, they thought the helicopters were Iraqis, violating the no-fly zone, a mistake that killed a total of 26 service people from half a dozen countries. It has now been over a week and a half since Eric and the others were shot down. For the U.S. military, this tragedy has turned into a huge embarrassment, and how and why it happened is apparently a big mystery.
We all want answers. It's not going to bring Eric back, and it really won't give us any true satisfaction, but at least we want to know.
And with the answers, they hope will come peace, especially for Eric's wife, Kay, and his 2.5-year-old daughter. In Santa Monica, I'm Linda Moore, Channel 2 Action News.
President Clinton spoke today at a memorial service for another victim of the friendly fire accident and renewed his pledge to get to the bottom of this tragedy.
Well, some wicked weather moved through the Southland today. What can we expect for the rest of this week? Steve Rambo joins us next with a forecast.
And you won't want to miss this, what could be California's last snowstorm of this year. We'll be right back with that.
You're on the front street of Avalon, the most beautiful spot in the world.
And you used to be the mayor.
The best known of anyone on the island.
Oh, more famous than Elvis?
Elvis who?
Sure, a lot of Jeep Wranglers over here. Did everyone buy one?
One guy didn't. He came off the boat today.
So tell me, George, what's the real reason you left the mainland?
All my friends turned out to be bill collectors.
Yeah, that's life in a Jeep Wrangler. Brought to you by your California Jeep and Eagle dealers. Who else?
There's a business tool so powerful, it can help people move mountains. Go. It's so powerful, it can set people free.
Hang on just a second. We found our witness. So the state has no case?
It's a tool as unique as the sound of your voice.
That's me.
Because your voice is your most powerful business tool.
It's perfect.
Through our new world-class network, GTE can put the power of your voice to work. We can plan, provide, service, and guarantee a voice product solution for you.
America's always been a country of inventors, a nation of relentless tinkerers, a land of improvisation. Businesses start in garages, hobbies turn into industries. And if you're Bank of America, you hold up your end of the job by making sure every business service is in place for when the next brainstorm hits in the middle of the night. Banking on America. Bank of America.
While half and half tastes great, it has its share of cholesterol and saturated fat. Fortunately, there's Mocha Mix non-dairy creamer. All the rich, creamy taste of half and half, but no cholesterol. And low in saturated fat. And the newest Mocha Mix is fat-free. You can't get any lower than that. Now, if one of the makers of half and half stumbled on that fact, you can imagine how they'd react. Mix it up with Mocha Mix, the smarter way to cream your coffee. Original, light, and fat-free.
Rambo says summer is just around the corner, but you'd have certainly never guessed it today from the snowstorm that hit the Sierras. Kids were having a ball playing in the white stuff. These shots were taken today up in Placer County. The extra inches of snow could be good news because in just a few days from now, scientists will take the annual snowpack survey, and every little bit counts. When we've had all these drought conditions in the last decade or so, they count.
And snow angels, are they going to be able to make more snow angels up there?
They can make more snow. You know what? They don't have to drive to Placer County. They can make snow angels right down here in the Southland because we have snow at the 5,000-foot level. But more than that, we have a wind advisory in effect for the desert and mountain communities, and folks in the Pomona area are probably saying, wind advisory for us too. I'll show you that in just a moment, but let's check today's conditions and see how we did on the record books today. 58 the afternoon high, the low 53. Not much of a temperature range because of the rainfall, which is close to a record amount of rainfall for this date. 49/100ths of an inch. The record amount for this date is a ½ an inch of rain. So just a little more in the gauge, we'll break a record. This will be the most we've ever had. In Pomona today, at Cal Poly Pomona, this is the story as downbursts from a thunderstorm passed through the area this afternoon, and the result of that were these 12 or so trees uprooted and some damages around that area, as well as the West Covina area. All of that because of the thunderstorms that passed through about the same time that a cold front went through. This all happening around 3 o'clock this afternoon. The bad news about that is tomorrow we will see even more of this activity as it passes on through the Southland. Let's take a look at this satellite photo and show you why. There's a deep area of low pressure occurring right off the coast. It's pushing on in. As it does so, what happens when these lows are out here is each time it spins around, it sends another energy of instability down across the Southland. That's what's been happening. We will see right in here another very strong trough will pass through tomorrow afternoon and recreate the kind of weather that we experienced today, possibly even stronger. So we want to get the word out about that. Looking at the radar right now, I can show you that things are starting to die out just a little bit, but we still have a lot of instability in the area. We'll do the radar in a bit, but first let's do that night's forecast. We're calling for a little bit of drizzle, a nice full moon, some partly cloudy skies, low of about 50 degrees with winds out of the west-southwest to 25 miles an hour. So partly cloudy, chance of showers, and this arrow here for the strong wind advisory out in the desert community. Let's go to the 5-day outlook, see what's coming up for the next several days. And you can see that we will continue in the rain for Tuesday and into Wednesday. And then Thursday, we start to clear things out again. We get a strong offshore wind, and that'll warm us up as we head to the weekend and get a lot of bright sunshine in here. In fact, so much sunshine, we had to put little sunglasses on Mr. Sunny for Saturday because he's just so happy that the rain has finally come to make all the flowers bloom.
We need a good weekend.
It was bone chilling out there today.
Wasn't it,
Rather
though?
than that rain.
Yeah, it's a winter type storm, cold air, everything. And we're going to add to that a spring component tomorrow when the front comes through. We may even get more of these heavy thunderstorms, so be careful about that.
It's interesting. Thank you, Steve.
Oh, and by the way, you look good in our new digs.
Hey, thank you very much. I like our new digs.
Don't we all? Well, a big surprise in the NFL draft. A Heisman Trophy winner is sacked. Jim Hill has the story just ahead in sports.
And why is this outfielder rushing to the stands? It's one of those incredible moments in baseball, and you'll see it here next.
If you're not shopping at Ross,
You're paying too much for name brand and designer clothing.
and who wants to do that?
Welcome to the Mazda Exceptional Sales Event. Get exceptional deals on a tough Mazda truck, available with the most powerful V6 of any import truck. Lease a Mazda B2300 short bed truck for $149 a month and use the $750 cash back from Mazda as your down payment. But hurry, deals like this won't last long. See your Mazda dealer today. Mazda, it just feels right.
Pete Wilson talks tough on crime, but he completely failed his greatest test. During the LA riots, he let the National Guard sit on its hands as mobs of criminals burned and looted my native city for days. That's leadership. And Wilson's election year crime summit, getting together with a bunch of other politicians to talk about crime. Did that make our streets any safer? As governor, I'll fulfill my oath of office and protect the lives and property of all Californians. I'm Ron Unz.
Ron Unz, the Republican for governor.
Dear car owners, stop now for the big break at Midas. Get big savings on expert Midas brake services and quality parts. Drive in for a thorough Midas brake inspection today, and you'll get big brake values like these.
Midas provides expert brake repairs and low prices. In fact, we'll beat any competitor's price for the required service. On exhaust repairs, too. Don't pay more.
That's the Midas way. The way it should be.
Question is, how can you make all those foods you love in a way you can feel better about?
The answer is waiting for you at Alpha Beta. It's Crisco oil.
Compare Crisco to ordinary vegetable oils. Crisco has less saturated fat, 25% less. Crisco looks light, and there's no heavy oily taste. When you make what you love, make it smarter.
Make it with Crisco, with a little help from Alpha Beta.
Good use for some local college football players, seem to be pros. Jim Hill joins us. Draft this year in the NFL had kind of a Southland flavor, didn't it?
It really did, and this is for those people who think that there's not a lot of great potential coming from our area. All 7 rounds of the NFL draft have been completed with a heavy, emphasis on local college players. 3 of the first 21 players selected came from the Southland, beginning with USC defensive end Willie McGinnis.
The New England Patriots select Willie McGinnis, linebacker at USC.
So how does the newest New England Patriot feel?
Great, man. I'm just happy that's what they needed, and they took me up, and I'm just ready to play ball now.
With the 10th pick in the first round, the Arizona Cardinals select Jameer Miller, linebacker at UCLA.
Like Willie McGinnis, former UCLA linebacker Jameer Miller was overcome with emotion when he heard the announcement. And for him, this is a dream come true.
Are these tears of joy that we see?
Oh, yeah. And hopefully you see a lot more down there in Arizona.
The Detroit Lions have selected Johnny Morton, wide receiver, USC.
Former Trojan wide receiver Johnny Morton received the news with his agent Lee Steinberg at his side. And playing for the Detroit Lions will be a brand new experience.
It wasn't one of the teams I thought I'd go to, but there's a lot of surprises in the draft, and fortunately this is a great surprise.
Other local players taken in the draft include the Bruins' Von Park and Bruce Walker to the Chargers and Eagles, respectively, in the second round. USC players Jason Sehorn and Brad Banta, along with Bruins' Craig Novinsky and Marvin Goodwin, went in the middle rounds. Now, the Rams and Raiders didn't select many household names. Both teams felt they did pretty good in the draft. The Rams drafted 10 players overall, including Auburn running back James Bostic today. The Raiders selected 6 players, the biggest name today being Nebraska running back Calvin Jones. One player who wasn't drafted, Heisman Trophy winner Charlie Ward of Florida State. Ward quarterbacked the Seminoles to the national championship. He threw for over 3,000 yards and 27 touchdowns. He is the first Heisman Trophy winner to be bypassed in the draft since 1959. Major League Baseball action for you now. The Angels are taking on the Yankees in New York. Mark Leiter taking on the Yankees' Jimmy Key. It is right now in the 6th inning, and New York has a 7-0 lead. Well, the Dodgers have the night off. They open up a mini 2-game series against the Philadelphia Phillies tomorrow night at Chavez Ravine. Last night, the Dodgers benefited from one of the strangest plays of the year, maybe the century, Linda, with a runner on first base, 1 out in the 3rd inning. Montreal right fielder Larry Walker catches Mike Piazza's fly ball. But Walker thinks that it's the 3rd out of the inning, gives the ball to a kid in the stands. By the time he realizes he made a mistake, he goes back, gets the ball. The runner at first base, Jose Offerman, goes all the way around to 3rd base. And you know what? Walker is a little bit embarrassed about the whole thing. Now, what about that fan? Well, the story does have a happy ending. Walker gave the 6-year-old boy a new baseball following the inning. By the way, the Dodgers went on to win the game by a score of 7-1. And that's Look at Sports for the 6 o'clock hour, folks.
Happy endings all around.
Especially for the little guy. Yes, you better believe it.
Thanks a lot.
Okay.
Now, you ask any mom what she'd like as a gift, and chances are a little pampering is high on her list.
And straight ahead, we'll show you why hundreds of moms are being treated to the works.
You know what Mom says. Don't put off till tomorrow what you can do today. We at 800 Flowers have a perfect way for you to thank Mom for her many words of wisdom. Call 1-800-Flowers to send an arrangement of the freshest flowers for Mother's Day. So, put your best foot forward. Call now and have your order delivered anytime through May 8th and leave her speechless.
This Mother's Day, call us and we'll make all the arrangements. 800 Flowers. Just call our name.
You will know it by the scent in the air, the richness, the color, the unbridled flavor. Yuban, made from 100% Colombian beans, the richest coffee in the world. Yuban, taste the spirit of coffee.
Marie Callender's, where the pasta's perfect, the fish the freshest, the recipes original, the lasagna made from scratch, the salad sensational, and now hot turkey fresh roasted throughout the day, then hand carved to order for salads, sandwiches, and moist turkey dinners. Plus for dessert, our famous pies, baked fresh today, every day. Marie Callender's, all the favorites and more.
The Action News Sports is sponsored by your local Southern California Honda dealer, offering Honda's new shorter-term leadership leasing.
Considering a Toyota Camry LE, take a few notes. Because the Honda Accord LX has a longer wheelbase. And let's see, it's got more headroom. It's got 5 more horsepower, that'll come in handy. And it goes 2 miles farther on every gallon of gas. I knew you'd like that. Most surprising of all, the Accord costs over $1,500 less than the Camry. Now, draw your own conclusions.
Do prisoners get too many comforts and conveniences in jail? Well, tonight at 11, we'll have 2 examples for you. We'll tell you why inmates in one prison get every meal catered by Denny's. And at another, why there's a push on to get rid of those fancy weight rooms that prisoners use to bulk up. Plus, Barbra Streisand gets up close and personal with Prince Charles. We'll tell you why she's saying if things had worked out just a little differently, she could have been his wife. And will tomorrow's drive to work be as wet and messy as today's drive home? Steve Rembo has the answer tonight at 11.
And now 500 women from LA's Skid Row got an early Mother's Day gift today, a free makeover courtesy of the Fred Jordan Mission. They were pampered, they were powdered and plucked by LA's top stylists and makeup artists. The idea is to give the moms a lift before their big day and to let everyone else see what we knew all along. Mothers are the most beautiful women in the world. You too, Mom.
Yes, they are. And they deserve every bit of pampering they get, too.
They sure do.
That's it for this edition of Action News at 6. We thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Bye-bye. We'll be back at 11. Until then, you have a very nice evening.
Good night.